I'm back. Today's video will be how to remove the chain and the chain bar, but I'm also gonna give a little bit of explanation later on that I'm also gonna show you a trick on my next video on how to get these and any other two-stroke engine started quickly. That'll be coming up in another video. I'll go through that a little bit, some more. So with that said, let's get started. Most chainsaws are pretty much the same. This is for a stihl. You remove these two nuts right here. You could use the corresponding socket size, obviously, in here with any ratchet set you have, or one of these tools that they sell specifically for this. And the reason this tool is specifically here sold for chainsaws is because it also has a flathead on the other side. So when you're straightening out and putting more tension on the chain, you need a flathead, so it has two in one. So we're gonna remove the two nuts, then take off this cover and pull this off right here. And you gotta make sure that when you put this blade back on, that you don't put it the other way around, because it will be not going in the way that it's supposed to cut. So the way that it goes is that the sharp end when it's on the bottom side, it's coming towards you because it's rotating like that. So you cannot have it going from the bottom forward, the sharp end of this chain. Make sure that it's going back towards you. Once you take it off, you can put it right back on into the bar that has the little guide to go through. Then you're gonna put it back on here. But before you do that, now because it's taken off, it's gonna be like kind of hard because the tension, so you wanna, with the flathead, come over here to the screw that's on this particular one is in the front here, and you're gonna remove tension, which is clockwise, because it's taking actually counterclockwise on this one, and it removes tension. I will be doing a video actually right after this one for anybody that is interested in how to start the chainsaw quick, because everybody has problems starting the chainsaws that, after you haven't started for a while. So I'm gonna show you the trick that always works, that it'll start right up. Obviously, as long as you don't have a problem with your carburetor. So once you remove that tension, this little guide moves back to move the whole bar back. And that's because little bolt right here. And let me zoom in into the camera so you can see what I'm talking about when I mean that little bolt there. That's very important. So I'm gonna make sure that I have it in the position that the blade is towards the bottom, coming this way again, or you can mark it before you take it off so you can remember. So what happens here is now that you see that little piece that's connected to that bolt that we are putting in and out with that flathead, it's gonna go into this little hole down here. See how it went in? So what happens is that if you have not removed tension, like right now, it'll be up there and then you gotta pull really hard. So that's why we remove tension, to make sure that it fell in there now, right? Make sure your chain is within inside the guide. And what you could do temporarily, if you don't wanna just put the cover on and not try to tighten that screw on and mess it up somehow, you could put one of these kind of to hold this, a little bit once you get used to it, you'll be able to do it just by putting the cover on. But here, you kind of have a little bit of help there. And you can start tightening in now this screw here to where you're gonna see I'm going clockwise now, and it's pulling and stretching the chain back. So we're gonna go ahead and again make sure that piece is in there. And once it's in there, we're gonna hold this down and go clockwise here and start tightening this bolt so it could stretch the chain, and it's gonna pull. What it's doing when you go clockwise is pulling the bar away and stretching out this chain. It's still loose, So we're gonna keep on going here till we feel it being a little bit tightening up. And as you go, you gotta be making sure that it's staying in that channel there inside the guide. So, and make sure back here that it's in place and didn't pop out also. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and put the cover on. Remember, always really important that this is facing cutting back. The sharp side goes on the bottom, cutting back, not on the top. On the top is going forward. So now we're gonna kind of hand tighten this only because I still want to adjust perfectly that tightness that I want on this. And actually, I probably want a little bit too tight here. And I'm gonna back it up a little bit because even though it looks almost perfect, which is kind of how you want it, that when you pull, it won't. I'm gonna pull real hard to show something. You don't want it to, when you pull, that it shows that tip right there. You want it just like that by doing a little bit of a pull. You don't want to have to obviously jank on it hard like that because yeah, it's coming out a lot, but that's not the way you're putting a lot of attention on it. So just by pulling a little bit, it's supposed to be like that. So that will be perfect pretty much right there. But except that when you tighten this here, it gives it like an extra tension, kind of like vertical like this. So you want to have it a little bit more loose than that, so that when you do that other tightening, maybe like a quarter turn, let me see how it's going out. You can now see almost the whole tip. That's probably kind of perfect right there. Let's give it a shot. If not, I have to just loosen it a little bit more. Again, what's happening is that once you tighten these two up, it's moving the bar like that, and it adds a little bit of tension. Perfect. You see, I'm putting it, it's going almost that. It still won't come out. The inner part that goes into that guide won't come out. So that's perfect right there. Let's tighten this up. And that right there is how you do the chainsaw. Bar removal and replacement, which is obviously to change also the chain on it. Perfect. All right. See you on the next one.